Hello, everyone, and welcome to LGE coverage of Limitless Formula Racing, the Thursday Limitless 4 edition, as we are going to be having our race take place at Japan, the Suzuka International Racing Course. I would like to thank everyone for coming to this stream. Make sure that you like this video and also subscribe to the channel. It will help us out a lot. My name is Kem. I am usually the Tuesday Limitless 2 commentator, and usually with me is my co-commentator, Mr. Big Weir, but Mr. Big Weir is driving today for, I believe it is the Bentley team. So I will be doing this broadcast by myself, and hopefully it is enjoyed by the masses as we are just about to enter the lobby. Yep, so just had to do a quick sound check on YouTube to make sure that everything is good, and everything is good. So we are just about to enter the lobby. So we have one shot qualification followed by a 25% sprint that will set the grid for the 50% race for today. So we just have to wait for the cars to get onto the track for the one shot qualification. And the one-shot quali is underway. We will see. Let's try and get to the front runners. So, at the moment, riding on board with King's Home 94. He is currently in second and dropping all the way down to fourth. As you can see here, this is BKS in the Porsche livery. Doing a not too bad job as it stands right now. Currently riding on board with Lewis of Bentley. He takes this hairpin turn quite well. Now on board with Darth Vader, who is reserving for the Ford team for today's race. Doing a pretty good job so far as, and Mr. Basil actually is out of this qualifying session, which is quite unfortunate. Now currently riding on board with Anthony, who is in the Porsche livery as they are making their way through the miniature S, and it's going to be powered down, and just Anthony was in second place, but he must have done a very good job through that miniature S section and put the power down to beat Brad, who was just ahead of him, and Anthony in the Porsche is able to take P1. So I will go through the starting order for the 25% race, or 25% sprint. So it is Anthony in P1, Brad in P2, Darth Vader in third, Darth of Vader in third, Big Weir in fourth, BKS in fifth, Lewis in sixth, King's Home in seventh, Wideycore in eighth, Dazibo in ninth, Azure in 10th, Blades in 11th, Flea in 12th, Walter in 13th, Liam Esk in 14th, Boosted in 15th, Milan Massimo 16th, Snooker ML in 17th, Yo-Yo in 18th, and Mr. Basil in 19th position. So as we now set up for the 25% sprint, I believe there will be a formation lap, and sorry for the background noise that you're hearing. It will be stopping very, very soon, but it is looking like a very cloudy sky. So there may be the potential of rain in this 25% sprint. We will see what happens as we wait for the cars to get their proper setups. And yes, we do have a formation lap. So as I will get all of the settings together. So I'll just go through the list of the starting grid. As you see, the predicted tire strategy or pit stop strategy for the soft runners that was just shown there. So it's Anthony in the Porsche, who will be on pole position starting in P1. It is Ibrad in the Toyota, who will be in P2. You have Darth Vader, who is in the Ford livery. He is in P3. You have Big Weir, who is driving for Bentley today in P4. You have BKS, who is riding for Porsche today in P5. You have Lewis F1, who is driving for Bentley, P6. In P7, you have LGE Kingsholm 94 of the Ford team. And a teammate of Kingsholm will be Wadikor in the Ford in P8. You have Dazibo, who is in 9th position for the Bentley team. You have Azure F Wings, who is in the Monster livery. He's starting in P10. You have Blades, who is driving for Toyota in P11. You have Flea 1996 for Porsche in P12. Walter Royal 13 in P13, ironically enough, and he is driving for the Bentley team. Liam Esk in 14, who is driving for Monster Energy. You have Boosted, and he is one of the only 2 medium compound starters in 15th. You have Milan Massimo, who's driving for Porsche, starting in 16th position. Snooker ML in 17th, driving for Monster Energy. You have Yo-Yo, who is the other medium compound runner for the start of this race for the Toyota team in 18th position. And finally, Mr. Basil of Monster Energy will be the last on the grid to form in P19. So we will go back to the front as we await the start of this race. As I cannot see the lights, but I think it's 5 right there, and it is away we go, and we will see the position changes if I can get there quickly. Oh, and Ibrad has fallen way down. 5 positions. Ibrad has dropped at the beginning. Big Weir gets himself a good start, going up 2 positions into 2nd place. Is a good start for the Bentley driver, as well as Lewis has made up 2 positions, has gone up into 4th place. As I'm currently riding on board with Anthony, doing a good job so far. We'll go down to, looks like Leah Mask and Blades are going side to side, and they both go off the track, and that is going to cost them positions. And we have yellow flags in sector 1 and 2. Not sure what happened there, but and Dazibo is out, and we have a virtual safety car. So Dazibo of the Bentley team already out in this 25% sprint on lap 1. That is unfortunate. So he will be starting at the back of the grid for the 50% race after this sprint. As I'm currently riding on board with Anthony in the Porsche. as we're currently under virtual safety car conditions. And it seems like I see the power is down, so we know that the race is back underway. But as you can see, Big Weir must have gotten a very good jump, and he is approaching the back of Anthony as Mr. Basil of Monster Energy makes his way into the pits. Most likely had damage, as that is a relatively early pit stop for him. So I'm currently riding on board. I'll go down to Milan Massimo as he is side by side with Walter. It is Porsche versus Bentley, and it looks like Porsche wins out in this particular situation as Milan Massimo moves himself into P11. Jump down to Aeon Blades as it looked like he was getting somewhat close to his teammate Yo-Yo, as they are both driving for the Toyota team. So I will go back to the front. As you can see, Anthony, in comparison to where Big Weir was with Anthony in Sector 1, Anthony has pulled about 3/10 away from Big Weir, but it seems like Big Weir is, as Anthony sets the fastest lap with, and then it's taken by BKS with a 1:31.173. We'll see what it is that Big Weir can do going through Sector 1 as they're about to approach the S section of this track, and there was actually just an overtake that took place as Yo-Yo of Toyota goes past Boosted in the Ford, and there's yellow flags. I believe it's Milan Massimo is falling down the order. Not sure what it is that happened with him, but that is unfortunate, and he actually goes back to the position that he started in at the beginning of this race in P16. Currently riding on, and Boosted of Toyota goes wide, and that gives Aeon Blades and Liam S the invitation to overtake him. So Aeon Blades moves himself into P13, and Liam S of Monster Energy moves himself into 14th position respectively. As I'm currently riding on board with iBrad7 of the Toyota team, as he is making his way ever so slightly closer to King's home of the Ford team. Going into this mini S section, we'll see as Anthony sets another fastest lap with a 1:31.041. So both Anthony and Big Weir are doing a good job, but Big Weir almost. And it looks like, yes, iBrad does make his way past King's home, but he goes wide. And King's home uses that as an invitation to go back and take that position back and go back into P6. So some interesting stuff happening right now, as it looks like Walter has made an overtake on Flea of the Porsche team. So Walter has moved himself into 10th position, and it looks like Yo-Yo is going to try and follow Walter in trying to overtake Flea, as Flea goes slightly wide. And slightly wide again, and there's a bit of contact between Yo-Yo, but Yo-Yo and his teammate Aeon Blades are able to make their way past Flea, as well as Liam S. So unfortunately for Flea in the Bentley, he has lost 3 positions in the span of probably 10 seconds or less, and now he is down in 14th position as Mr. Basil is in the pits again, and I'm not sure if Flea may have a little bit of damage, as I'm riding on board with Aeon Blades, and he makes his way past Yo-Yo, his teammate, as they are both driving for the Toyota team. So Aeon Blades makes his way into 11th position as I'm riding on board, and Lewis makes his way past Darth Vader. There's a lot of overtakes that are happening at this moment, and Yo-Yo into the pits. I saw him falling down the order, so I thought an incident may have taken place, but Yo-Yo has decided to go into the pits as, oh, and Prix! That is unfortunate for the Bentley driver. We will see if we will have a safety car. I don't believe so, because there aren't many cars that are going to be passing through that particular area of the track, as I believe. I don't know if Aeon Blades may have just made an error, as we have yellow flags in Sector 3. Not sure who that is, but I believe... yeah, I'm not sure who that is, but I'm currently riding on board with Brad, as once again, he is making his way up to Kingsholm in that 6th place position. We'll see if going down this straight, if Brad can make a move on Kingsholm. He is getting close, and he pulls to the right, and they are side by side. And Kingsholm is around and out of this race. So there was a bit of contact that was made between Brad and Kingsholm, and unfortunately, Kingsholm came out worse in that squabble between the two drivers, and unfortunately Kingsholm is out of this race as Brad dives into the pits, and he puts on a medium compound or medium set of tires. And yep, we do have a safety car. I'm not sure if I caught that slightly late, but we are under safety car conditions, so we'll see as Aeon Blades is going into the pits. So let's see if I can get the tires up right now. So Aeon Blades goes into the pits. He puts on a medium set of tires. Big Weir. I'm not sure if he pit during this lap, maybe just before the safety car came out. So let us see where he is on the map. No, so they would be following a delta, depending on... it'll be interesting to see what place Big Weir falls into. I'm assuming as long as everybody from 1st to 6th place does pit, I would assume that Big Weir will go back into 2nd position, but we will see what happens as Anthony decides to dive into the pits. Lewis F1 of the Bentley team goes into pits. Darth Vader of the Ford team decides to go into the pits, as well as BKS. So it's going to be all medium tires. Azure of Monster Energy into the pits as well. Walter, I'm assuming, will be into the pits. But is this going to cost Big Weir? So he's putting the power down. Where will... and yep, it looks like as Snooker gets himself a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. It looks as if whatever move it is that Big Weir did, I'm not sure if he pit on the previous lap or I'm assuming it was the previous lap, but it has potentially cost him. I believe he's moved from 2nd to 5th, which is very unfortunate for the Bentley driver. So we are currently under safety car conditions. We are on lap 7 of this 13-lap sprint as Anthony of the Porsche team is currently in 1st, and he started off in 1st place. So he has held position. As I'm looking at the position changes so far, Lewis F1 of the Bentley team has made up 4 positions already. As Darth Vader has held his position that he started in this race. BKS has made up 1 position, so Big Weir has gone down 1 position from where he started. But he was running in 2nd place, so whatever the circumstances were that took place. It's unfortunate because it seems as if it costs Big, or potentially costs Big Weir 3 positions. Azure F Wings of Monster Energy has made up 4 positions, and unfortunately iBrad has lost 5 positions. YD-Core has maintained, and a lot of big gainers from 9th to 16th. That's the only driver so far, or out of the drivers from 9th to 16th is Aeon Blades, who has lost 2 positions. The rest have made gains, and some of them quite a few positions. So we'll ride on board with Anthony as he is driving behind the safety car, as will most likely be, I'm assuming it will be coming in at the end of this lap. Although there is a car that is quite far back. Mr. Basil has quite a ways to make up. So we'll see if the safety car actually does come in this lap. As Boosted goes into the pits, and he puts on a medium set of tires as he is now going to make his way through the S section and get back to the pack. So I'll ride on board with Mr. Basil. We'll see as the front runners. Yeah, so the front runners are just entering sector 2. And Mr. Basil is about halfway through sector 1, so I'm assuming that he will be able to catch up in time. So we'll see if the safety car will be coming in this lap. So I will go to the comment section of the stream to see if anyone has said anything. As Ethan Sellers says it's going to be a Ford win today. So a prediction by Ethan Sellers that Ford will be getting the dub today, as Race Control has determined that the safety car is in this lap and Mr. Basil should be able to make it in time to catch up to the pack. So we're right on board with Anthony. So Ethan Sellers says it's going to be a Ford win today. So as far as this sprint goes, that is Darth Vader is the best chance for the Ford team as it stands, who is currently in 3rd place. But as Anthony gets the pack started, and iBrad has already made up. Oh, and Aeon Blades. Something must have happened with it. I don't know if it was during the period while they're warming up their tires, but it's even before they hit the start finish, he had a bit of a moment, and he is all the way back in 16th now, as Mr. Basil also overtook Milan Massimo as BKS gets himself a 3-second time penalty. And I'm not sure if I saw someone falling down the order. I see yellow flag sector 1, and I think it is Milan Massimo. Oh, as riding on board with Yo-Yo, as he's going side by side with Snooker, but not able to make up a position. But it is powered down by Yo-Yo, and he is going to make this look quite easy on the Monster Energy driver, as Yo-Yo moves himself into P11. That was impressive. I don't know what wings he's running, but he just put the power down and made quick work of Snooker in that Monster Energy car. As I'm currently riding on board with Liam Mascats, he's looking for an overtake on his teammate. And this thing, there's yellow flags in sector 1. Milan Massimo may be having some problems. So I'm currently riding on board with Darth Vader. He is side by side with Lewis, as Milan Massimo has been disqualified from the session. But Darth Vader was able to make up a position to go into second place on Lewis F1. So Ethan Sellers in the comment section said it's going to be a Ford win today. We'll see. He's making moves as it is right now. And we have yellow flags in Sector 2. I'm not sure who that is. Sector 1 and 2. It looks like a Bentley. I believe it's Walter. Yep. Currently riding on board with BKS in the Porsche. Actually, I'll go down to Mr. Basil. Going side by side with Boosted. And not a good angle, but they're going side by side. And yep, Mr. Basil is able to take 11th place off of Boosted. Oh, and a moment for Mr. Basil. That is unfortunate. Luckily, able to still almost keep, maybe still keep 11th place. What? That is incredible. That was incredible. Mr. Basil, I salute you for keeping the car on track as DRS has now been enabled. Darth Vader sets the fastest lap of the race with a 1:39.02. We only have this lap plus 2 left, which will set the grid for the 50% race. As we have yellow flags in Sector 1, and that is Azure is off the track, and that is unfortunate for the Monster Energy driver. It needs to watch out for the oncoming drivers. Currently riding on board with Ibrad of the Toyota team. Getting somewhat close to BKS, and also BKS is staying relatively close with Big Weir as well. So I'll ride on board with Ibrad so that I can have a very good perspective as Aeon Blaze gets himself a 3-second time penalty for multiple track limit warnings. Currently riding on board with Ibrad of Toyota, and he's getting ever so close to BKS of the Porsche team. Not able to make a move into this mini S section, but as Anthony sets the fastest lap of the race with a 1:38.18, it's DRS for Ibrad, and he is going to make quick work of BKS in the Porsche to go up into 5th place. Currently riding on board with Big Weir, and I wonder if there will be any sort of team orders going on here, as it seems like Big Weir would have, or might have, more of the pace compared to his teammate ahead of him. So it will be interesting to see if Lewis does yield for his teammate. As I'll go down to Liam S, getting somewhat close to Boosted. As we have yellow flags in Sector 1, and it is Walter of the Bentley team. So we're currently on lap 12 of 13. As soon as the front runner, who is Anthony of the Porsche team, as I'm currently on board with Liam S, going onto the grass, but still able to make the move on Boosted of the Ford team. So that was a very good move by Liam S in, or of the Monster Energy team. But it looks like Boosted may be trying to fight back, but I'll go up to Big Weir as it's flashing lights for his teammate ahead, but not sure if he has enough of the energy in store to be able to get past that. Snooker has been disqualified for not changing his tires. 25 lap sprint, you gotta change your tire, you gotta pit once. So it looks like, I believe Liam S just made a move on Mr. Basil, and now Boosted in the or of the Ford team, looks like he is getting close to Mr. Basil as well. We'll currently go, or I will go to the front runner, who is Anthony, and made it seem like pretty easy work today in this sprint, as he started in first and has maintained that position for this entire race. So kudos to the Porsche driver, Anthony, as he goes through this mini S section. As long as no mistakes are made, this will be P1 for Anthony and the Porsche team for this 25% sprint, as Darth Vader follows in second, followed by Lewis, F1. Big Weir comes in fourth, Ibrad in fifth position, BKS in sixth, Whitey Court in seventh, Yo-Yo in eighth, as, there's still battles going on, as I believe both Boosted and Aeon Blades made up positions on Mr. Basil to go into 10th and 11th respectively, as well as Azure. And that may have been also because I believe someone did have a penalty. I'm not exactly sure who did. As we wait for Walter of the Bentley team to finish out this sprint session to set the grid for the 50% race that will be taking place right after this. So there you have it, folks. It is Anthony of the Porsche team who finishes in first place, followed by Darth Vader of the Ford team who finishes in second, followed by Lewis of the Bentley team who finishes in third, followed by Big Weir in fourth, Ibrad in fifth, BKS in sixth, Whitey in seventh, Yo-Yo in eighth, Liam-esque in ninth, Boosted in 10th position, Azure F-Wings in 11th, Aeon Blades in 12th, Mr. Basil in 13th, Walter in 14th, King's Home in 15th, Flea in 16th, Dazebo in 17th, Snooker in 18th, and Milan Massimo in 19th position. And this will be your starting order for the 50% official race that will be taking place in a moment's time. So just waiting to get back into the lobby, as I will check and see if there are any comments. As I see Matthias FER writes, obviously they got Darth O crown. So I'm assuming that's Darth Vader that Matthias FER is talking about. So we have a fan member of Mr. Darth Vader who finished in second place for the Ford team, and he is actually a reserve for the Ford team today as well. So quite a good performance by him. So we will just be heading back into the lobby where we will set up the 50% race. So I will just be holding tight on this screen. I'm going to be muted for a second, and as the lobby is about to commence and the 50% race is about to commence, I will be back on air. So hold tight, everyone who is viewing. We will be back shortly. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. We are about to get the 50% race at the Japan circuit underway. So I just have to deal with some stuff on the Discord. Thank you for that tag, Mr. Basil. So as we're just waiting for the cars to get onto the circuit, it is looking like very, or not very clear skies, but just minimal cloud cover. So it looks like it's going to be a dry race for this Japan 50% Grand Prix. Always good to see when it's going to be a dry race. That means we have the DRS that we get to use, or the drivers get to use to their advantage, and it makes for quite a bit of excitement, although sometimes variable conditions, such as what happened at the Portuguese Grand Prix for the Monday Limitless 1 race, sometimes variable conditions can produce some drama as well. So as we are now commencing the formation lap, I will get the settings. So, as I'm riding on board with Anthony in this formation lap, he has decided to start on the medium compound tires, which that is an interesting call. Depending on the type of getaway that some of the runners behind him, such as Darth Vader and Lewis, Big Weir, and Brad, who are all on the soft tires, may get. Will determine if we will see Anthony be able to hold on to that first place position as he is starting on the set of tires that does not have as much grip, and it's just not as fast as the softer compound tire. But I will go through the starting order for this race. So it is Anthony of the Porsche team in P1, Darth Vader of the Ford team, P2, Lewis F1 for Bentley in P3, Big Weir, also Bentley, P4, Brad of Toyota, P5, you have BKS of Porsche, P6, Core of Ford in P7, you got Yo-Yo of Toyota, P8, you have Liam Esk of Monster Energy in P9. You have Boosted of the Ford team in P10. Azure F Wings of the Monster Energy team, P11. Aeon Blades of Toyota, P12. Mr. Basil of the Monster Energy team, P13. Walter of the Bentley team in P14. King's Home of the Ford team in P15. Prix 1996, who is having a bit of a moment in this formation lap, of the Porsche team in P16, Dazibo of the Bentley team, P17, and Snooker ML of Monster Energy rounds out the field, and I believe we may have lost one driver. I believe Milan Massimo did not make it into this racing session. So as we're waiting for the 5 red lights, and it is away we go, and we will see who gets a good start. Anthony gets a good start. Darth Vader and Lewis are battling for that second place position, but Big Weir almost makes up a position. Core has already made up 2 positions, as well as Yo-Yo of the Toyota team. And Liam Esk has dropped 6 positions already, as we have yellow flags in Sector 1. That may have been Mr. Basil, potentially, who has dropped 5 positions. We'll see, it looks like someone is going slow. It looks like BKS dropped 11 positions in a matter of less than a minute. So that is an unfortunate start for BKS. As I'm currently riding on board with Aeon Blades of the Toyota team, and he is looking to line up a move on Azure F Wings. That is not a good camera angle, so I will go back to the onboard. Oh, and as you can see, King's Home passes Aeon Blades, and we have yellow flags in Sector 2. I believe that was Mr. Basil again, but we now have Dazzy and Walter, both of the Bentley team, and it looks like Walter may have yielded ever so slightly to give Dazzy that place. And Dazzy, another move on Aeon Blades to go into P11, and we have Prix is out, and we have virtual safety car conditions, and Azure dove straight into the pit lane. So this is going to be interesting. We have two Monster Energy drivers going into the pits. One is getting a new front wing. I think Azure is getting a new front wing as well. Yeah, I believe all of these drivers must have suffered damage. Because I saw new front wings on, I think it was all three of the 14th, 15th, and 16th runners. And yep, Mr. Basil, as Flea has left the session. So yep, that's a new nose for Mr. Basil as well. So all of those individuals who pit, all needing new noses before their cars as they suffered front wing damage. As Azure gets himself a drive-through penalty for speeding under the VSC. And what position is Azure right now? He is, 14th position, so that is unfortunate for him. Currently riding on board with Ibrad as he is getting very close to his Toyota teammate in Yo-Yo, and will one yield for the other? It looked like they were both yielding. It seems like there was a sense of teamwork there, so that was quite interesting. As we have DRS enabled, it looked like there was a team effort between both of them, and they actually both yielded, but eventually Ibrad did make his way past Yo-Yo into 6th place. And Big Weir makes his way past his teammate. There may have been some team orders there as well. As it looks like Big Weir is going to try and catch up to the Ford driver of Darth Vader. As, Azure is serving his drive-through penalty. Currently riding on board with King's Home, who is getting quite close to his teammate Boosted. Both Ford drivers, so we will see, as it doesn't look like one is yielding, Boosted is yielding for the other, or yielding for King's Home, but maybe the team orders are in play now, and King's Home makes his way into 8th place. Currently riding on board with Big Weir of the Bentley team. Getting closer to the Ford driver of Darth Vader. It's going into this mini S section in Sector 3. And yes, DRS would be enabled as Big Weir sets the fastest lap of the race with a 132.132. DRS wide open. Will he line up a move on Darth Vader? Nope. Not able to make that move into turn 1, but Dazibo is getting himself close to Boosted. It looked like King's Home went ever so slightly wide there, but didn't hinder him too much. So we'll see if Dazibo of Bentley will be able to make his way past Boosted of the Ford team. And if Boosted can do a bit of a job holding up for his teammate, that would serve the Ford team well, as it's Aeon Blades of the Toyota team is in the gravel. And Dazibo and Boosted side by side, and that is a move for Dazibo on Boosted going into 9th position, and he is going to look to hunt down King's Home, who is in the Ford. As Big Weir is around. And that is unfortunate for the Bentley driver. As we'll see if he can make his way. Yep, it's going to be a lot of positions that are lost. As now there's a bit of a gap, and he's able to make his way back onto the circuit into P11. So that's unfortunate for the Bentley driver of Big Weir. Currently riding on board with iBrad. It's DRS wide open. Wadikor has none for his defense, and that is an easy move by the Toyota driver of iBrad 7 to move up into 4th position. There was another move. Oh, and Walter is almost around, able to catch his car. I have seen some pretty good saves, and Lewis is around as well. And he has to be careful. He has to wait for a bit of a gap, and that's going to cost him some positions. As he is able to make his way behind his teammate who also spun in Big Weir. So that moves Lewis, or drops Lewis to P11. So unfortunate for the Bentley team right now. Currently riding on board with Walter, who is a Bentley driver. Interestingly enough, all the Bentley drivers are all clumped together right now. 7th, 9th, 10th, and 11th, respectively, as Azure F Wings dives into the pits. And I believe he has to serve a drive-through as well, so he's going to be quite far back from the rest of the field. He's going to be hoping for a safety car to try and get himself back up to the pack. As I'll move up to Walter, and Walter making a move on boosted, and they go side by side. We will see as a bit of wheel banging, but it looks like, I believe Walter is going to get the DRS. He is. So that is going to be an easy move up into 8th place for the Bentley driver of Walter Rorel 13. Currently riding on board with BKS, and a bit of a switchback he looked to make on Liam S of the Monster Energy team. It's going to be DRS for BKS 93, and that's going to be an easy move on the Monster Energy driver of Liam S to move into 14th. Go slightly wide though, and this is going to be an invitation for Liam S to try and fight back and get that position. Will it happen? Nope. BKS is able to maintain that 14th place position, although Liam S is staying relatively close. I'm going to ride on board with BKS to see how this battle for 14th is going to break down. Looks like BKS is pulling away ever so slightly. So a good move for BKS of the Porsche team to move himself into P14. Currently riding on board with Big Weir, and he is pushing, looking to make a move on Boosted, who has his red lights flashing, so he is slightly low on energy. Won't be able to make a move into this miniature S, but good enough exit, which this is quite a good exit for Big Weir. And it's going to be DRS wide open, and that is an easy move for the Bentley driver of Big Weir, moving himself into P9 as Walter of the Bentley team gets himself a 3-second time penalty for multiple track limit warnings, and that is Walter actually right ahead of Big Weir. Maybe some team orders here, maybe. Don't want to be slowing down your teammates too much, and we know that Big Weir is a consistent point scorer for Monday Limitless 1 races. So, wow! And they're two teammates! As Lewis F1 gets himself a 3-second time penalty. That is odd. As finally Walter does yield for his teammate, and Big Weir is able to move himself up into 8th place. Currently riding on board with Yo-Yo of the Toyota team, as it looks like he's going to be able to line up a relatively easy move on Wadikor of the Ford team. So it's going to be DRS wide open for Yo-Yo. Is he going to have enough time before turn 1? Yes, he is. And he moves himself into P4. As now he is going to try and chase down his teammate ahead of him, and that would be iBrad 7. So we're currently on lap 8 of this 27 lap race. As we have yellow flags in sector 1, it is a Ford. It's boosted. It's gonna have to be careful. Not the place to be reversing. And Big Weir gets himself a 3-second time penalty, so yep. Good rejoins by boosted. As Liam Esk does a complete 360. And that's going to give Boosted that 14th place position back. As Boosted may have damage though. As it seems like it's either his tires are quite warm or he has some sort of damage. Currently riding on board with Dazzy Bo of the Bentley team, as he is coming on or moving up to the rear of King's Home of the Ford team. So it is going to be, as BKS gets himself a 3-second time penalty for multiple track limit warnings, it's going to be DRS wide open for Dazibo. Will he be able to make a move? Nope, that's a little bit too far behind to be able to make a move on King's Home. So he's going to have to slot into that 7th place position for now. Currently riding on board with Aeon Blades of the Toyota team. DRS wide open. Also BKS of the Porsche team on his back. Won't be able to get close enough to Snooker to be able to make a move into turn 1. As Boosted is in the pits, and I'm assuming it's going to be a new nose for him. We'll see. So I just want to see if it's going to be... Oh no, it's just a tire change for Boosted. As... Oh no, he's actually retired from the session. So we are now down to 16 drivers as BKS of the Porsche team makes his way past Aeon Blades, and Aeon Blades gets close. Luckily didn't make any contact with the Porsche driver, and that moves BKS up into 12th position. So currently riding on board with Dazibo as YD pits, DRS wide open. That's not a very good camera, but we'll get this side-by-side shot as, ooh, a bit of contact between the Ford and the Bentley driver. As King's Home gets himself a 3-second time penalty for multiple track limit warnings. It really looks like, from this point of view, it really looks like King's Home wants this position back. As Boosted's car is going slowly on the track, I'm assuming it may pull off, hopefully. Don't want it causing any incidents. Currently riding on board with King's Home. Is Boosted's car off the track? I believe it might be now. No, it's not. Boosted's car is still on track, which is slightly weird, but hopefully we'll see it pull off sometime soon. It's currently riding on board with King's Home 94 as iBrad dives into the pits. It's going to be DRS wide open for King's Home, and yeah, so iBrad went into the pits. Won't be able to line up a move on Dazzy, but took that turn well, or turn 1 pretty well. I'm able to make up, it seemed like a couple of 10s. We have yellow flags in sector 2 and 3. I don't know if that's still the car boosted. As Aeon Blades of the Toyota team dives into the pit lane to get a new set of, I'm assuming they would be medium tires. Currently riding on board with Brad as we are on lap 11 of this 27 lap race. We'll see if the Toyota driver of Brad, ooh, and Walter squeezing. Squeezing Brad there. We'll see if Brad is able to make this move on the Bentley driver, and yes, he is. As Brad gets himself a 3-second time penalty for multiple track limit warnings. You have Darth of Vader and Big Weir who are in the pits right now, as Lewis F1 makes his way past his teammate to go into 8th position. So not riding on board with Kingsholm, and this fight is still going on. As I think Boosted has finally left the circuit. And oh my goodness! That reminded me, that was like a Verstappen-esque attempt. Oh, and late on the brakes by Kingsholm, and ooh, that's going to cost him the traction and a little bit of time as he makes a bit of contact with Dazibo. So currently riding on board with the Porsche driver, Anthony, and it just seems like he is having just quite the calm race in this first place position. Has an 8-second gap between him and Yo-Yo of the Toyota team. So Anthony is doing quite a good job, and Dazibo making his way into third, or is in third position, as Kingsholm dives into the pits. So he started on the mediums. What? He's going on to another pair of mediums. That's a bit of an interesting call, unless he thinks there's going to be a safety car later. That's an interesting call, as Walter gets himself a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So as you see, that is Kingsholm coming out of the pits. We will ride on board with Big Weir, as he is hunting down the Porsche team driver of BKS 93. So I'll use this time. There are a bit of gaps between the drivers, so this is the closest gap that is on track as it is. So I will use this time to see if there are any comments. You have Iggy Combo in the comment section saying, "Go Big Weir." So Big Weir, maybe that is the push that you need, and it seems like you're making a push right now on BKS in that Porsche, as BKS goes wide and has a bit of a squirrely moment. We will see if Big Weir can make a move on BKS in this Sector 3, as Darth Vader has set the fastest lap of the race with a 1:31.500. Currently riding on board with Big Weir of the Bentley team. It is DRS wide open for him, as BKS goes slightly defensive. We'll see if Big Weir can make a move going into this turn. Nope. Unfortunately, cannot, as there are yellow flags in Sector 2. It's a Monster Energy car. That is Mr. Basil. He's currently sitting in 14th as Snooker gets himself a 3-second time penalty. There was just a move that took place as Liam Esk. Was it Liam Esk? I'm not sure. It was a green. I saw a Monster Energy car make an overtake. I don't know if it was Snooker or Liam Esk. But we are back on board with Big Weir, still chasing down the Bentley driver of BKS. As it looks like it's a slightly better exit, as I believe Lewis F1 just made an overtake on Snooker to go into 10th position. Will Big Weir make a move before this miniature S? It is a no, but it's going to be a relatively, what would seem, no, BKS is doing a very good job, even without DRS. But it is DRS wide open for Big Weir, and that's going to be an easy pass on BKS to go into 8th place. So finally, the Bentley driver, as we have yellow flags in Sector 1, I believe that's, is it? No. It's Brad. Makes a bit of a mistake, and that is going to cost him quite a few positions. So after that mistake, Brad of the Toyota team, as Dazibo gets himself a 3-second time penalty, Brad of the Toyota team has dropped all the way down to 9th position. I believe he was running in. It was either 4th or 5th. So that is unfortunate for him, as I'm riding on board with Azur, as he's able to make an overtake on his teammate, Mr. Basil, to go into 14th position. So we are currently on lap 16 of 27 as Anthony of the Porsche team sets the fastest lap of the race with a 1:37.08. I am currently riding on board with Walter of the Bentley team as he is chasing down the Monster Energy driver Liam Esk. So we'll move up to King's Home as King's Home. Oh, and a bit of contact. Teammates making contact with each other. It's not helping the team by doing stuff like that, as Liam Esk and Walter pass Snooker, who is currently in the pit lane. Currently riding on board with Walter of the Bentley team. He has 2-lap-old hard tires compared to Liam Esk ahead of him in 13-lap-old or on 13-lap-old medium tires. So the advantage is Bentley and Walter at this moment. As Liam Esk is probably going to have, he most likely will have to make another stop, because I don't believe those tires will go to the end, as Walter has to do a bit of a dip and a dive to make sure that he does not make contact with Liam Esk going into that turn. He's currently riding on board with Walter. It does look like Wadicor is getting closer to his Ford teammate, who would be King's Home, who is currently riding in 5th position. As Darth Vader gets himself a 3-second time penalty for multiple track limit warnings. Wow, so looking at Gazebo has made up 15 positions from the start. Hasn't stopped yet though. So he's probably looking to go maybe stop on this lap or the next lap onto a pair of soft tires. But that is quite impressive that he's made up 15 positions, although he has not pit. So we'll see how many positions he has made up after he has pit, as the front runner currently, Yo-Yo, dives into the pits for his first pit stop. And yep, it is Dazebo as well pulling the trigger into the pit lane. So Anthony reclaims first position of this race, currently riding on board with Wadikor. Let's see where Yo-Yo and Dazzy filter out. So there's Yo-Yo, and Aeon Blades is out. Aeon Blades is out of this race, and we have a safety car. And that is not... Oh... The unfortunate circumstances that these safety cars sometimes take place in or at. If Yo-Yo and Dazzy decided to go on for one more lap, it would have most likely served as a bit more advantageous. It's unfortunate, but that is racing sometimes. So Aeon Blades of the Toyota team is out of this race, and we will see who's going to pull the trigger. So Liam Esk, who has already made one pit stop. He was on some fairly old medium tires, so he has now gone onto the soft compound tire. We will see. Snooker stays out. Walter goes onto a pair of medium compound tires. Mr. Basil is in the pits. I'm assuming it's softs for Mr. Basil, and yes, that is a pair of softs for Mr. Basil. And Anthony, as Lewis gets a drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car. That is not going to help his cause. So Anthony goes onto a new set of soft tires. That is an interesting call, as Yo-Yo. Will he filter out before Anthony? He does. So that is second place for Yo-Yo of the Toyota team, as Big Weir makes his way into the pit, as well as Kingsholm and his teammate Wadikor. So we'll see. Big Weir goes on to a set of soft compound tires. Lewis does not pit on 5-lap-old mediums, so he'll move himself into 5th place. Kingsholm filters out into 6th. Wadikor behind him in 7th. BKS in 8th. And Big Weir is all the way down in 9th position. I don't know if there was any sort of holdup that took place there. So you would think that this would be all the pit stops that have taken place. So let us take a look. Yeah, so it's just everybody who has a penalty. It is only a 3-second penalty, although that's going to cost Darth Vader, who is running in 1st place, 6-lap-old medium tires as well. So yeah, that's going to cost him a little bit. He's going to have to fight to try and maintain that first position and even try and get a gap. But it's going to be hard with both Yo-Yo, Anthony, and Dazebo on his back on fresh, soft tires. Although Dazebo does have himself a 3-second time penalty, and Lewis in 5th position has himself a drive-through. So after he serves that penalty, it is probably going to move him all the way down to the back of the order. It's unfortunate that took place for the Bentley driver. All the cars bunching up now. And some of the cars still have quite a ways to go. So I don't know if we're going to have the safety car come in. During, this would be lap 20. So I don't know if the safety car is going to come in during lap 20. As Mr. Basil is pitting again? Mr. Basil, you just put those soft tires on your car. Another pair of soft tires for Mr. Basil. I guess he wants the freshest of the freshest soft tires on the circuit out of all of the runners. I guess sacrificing one position to have one lap fresher tires on the circuit that is slightly harsh on the tires. It may serve as an advantage, so we'll see how that works out for Mr. Basil. And we'll also see if he's able to catch up to the pack to enable the safety car to come in this lap. As I will go to the comment section to see if there's any comments. Shug's Life says Big Weir needs a good push to the end. Big Weir is currently in 9th place at the moment with a 3-second time penalty. So Shug's Life, we will see what kind of push Big Weir can make for the remainder of this race. So the safety car will not be coming in on lap 20, so it is most likely going to be coming in on lap 21, as Mr. Basil is just finishing lap 20 onto lap 21, so he will be able to catch up to the pack, which will mean that the safety car will be able to come in this lap. So just looking at who has made up and lost positions since the beginning of this race, and Yo-Yo of the Toyota team has made up 6 positions, and as we have a severe collision. So it looks like, I believe it's Snooker and Walter may have collided under these safety car conditions. So going back to the position changes since the start of this race, Yo-Yo has made up 6 positions. Anthony has dropped 2, although it is technically he has only dropped 1, and Yo-Yo has actually made up 7 positions due to the fact that Darth Vader has a 3-second time penalty, as the safety car will be coming in this lap, as well as Dazibo has made up 13 positions. That is quite impressive. And also Snooker in 12th place has made up 6 positions as well. So just waiting for the safety car to go back into the pit lane. And Darth Vader is away, as not a great camera angle. As Yo-Yo is right on the back and side to side. Will he make it happen? He does! Yo-Yo of the Toyota team makes his way past Darth Vader to go into first place. What a move by Yo-Yo going into turn 1. As Lewis and Kingsholm going side by side, and Lewis, I think, maintained P5. I think they may have switched positions for a second as Mr. Basil gets himself a 3-second time penalty. But there is Kingsholm and that patented late lunge, and he makes it into P5. And Wadikor also able to make his way up. Big Weir makes up a position to go into P8 as we have yellow flags, and I believe that is a Monster Energy car. Not sure which, though, as I'm trying to keep up with some of these overtakes that are taking place. Riding on board with Anthony in the, or part of the Porsche team. Will he make a dive on Darth Vader? Darth Vader goes slightly deep, but does have the inside line. But Anthony, better traction, able to make, and we have yellow flags in Sector 3. That may have been BKS, I'm not sure. Riding on board with Dazibo. Is he gonna make a move around Darth Vader going into turn 1? It seems as if he has it, and he does. Dazibo makes up another position to go up into P3. What a move by the Bentley driver. As Lewis F1 is in the pits. Let's see if there is anyone. Kingsholm making his way quite close to his teammate. Will there be team orders in order? It would seem as if, yeah, Darth Vader is on old tires, and yeah, it looks like he yielded. So that is another position made up by Kingsholm to go into 4th, and he's going to be on the chase for Dazibo in the Bentley. As we have 4 laps after this lap. We have 4 laps left of this race as Walter makes his way past Snooker to go into 13th position. Now riding on board with Darth Vader. I'm not sure if Kingsholm may have made a mistake or something, but Darth Vader is now right back close to his teammate. As DRS has now been enabled. Currently riding on board with Darth Vader. And it is a 4-5-6 for the Toyota team, so this is going to be good points for them. As it looks like Azure F Wings has made a move on his teammate for Monster Energy, on his teammate Mr. Basil to move up into P11. Currently riding on board with Big Weir as Lewis F1 is in the pits. I don't know if that's again, I'm not sure if I just said that recently. And Big Weir is making a charge. First Toyota he's looking to make a move on. And yes, that is one position made up by the Bentley driver of Big Weir. And it looked like Wadikor tried to fight back, but just not able to make it happen. And it looks like Big Weir is going to try and line up another, or sorry, not Toyota, Ford driver. My apologies. So Big Weir has made a move on the Ford driver of Wadikor. Will he be able to make up a place on the Ford driver of Darth Vader as well? As Wadikor is getting quite close to Big Weir, even after that overtake has taken place. We will see if Big Weir, I don't think Darth Vader is going to have DRS to his advantage. He's not. Will Big Weir be able to make a move into this turn 1? Nope. Has to yield. As well as iBrad, but BKS is able to make a move on Liam S of the Monster Energy team to move himself up into 9th position. So we are currently on lap 25 of 27. of this Japanese Grand Prix. And has been a relatively clean race so far. Only 3 runners not finishing, as Big Weir, good traction out of that turn, and he has made up another position on another Ford driver to move up into P5. The question is, will he be able to get Kings home within 2 laps? We will see, as Ibrad has also made up a position on Whitey Core. I believe Ibrad made up a position. As Mr. Basil gets himself a 3-second time penalty, I'll move myself up, or the view up, to Anthony, as it looks like he's going to try and line up a move on the Toyota driver of Yo-Yo. DRS wide open, and that is a lot of top speed. Yo-Yo is going slightly defensive, and Anthony is able to make that happen quite easily. And Anthony of the Porsche team is able to move himself into first place. So Anthony has retaken that position in which he started this race. And it's interesting because this 3rd place position is looking like it's going to be for outright 3rd position, as there are penalties. As we have yellow flag sector 2, King's home! King's home is out! I wonder if that's going to be a virtual safety car. As Dazibo has made up a position on Yo-Yo. It is all happening on this penultimate lap of this race. Currently riding on board with Whitey Core, and even Ibrad ahead of Whitey Core is getting quite close to Darth Vader. We will see as Anthony gets himself the fastest lap of the race with a 1:32.02. Yo-Yo makes his way back past Dazibo, and this is going to be interesting. Will Dazibo be able to get that position back? Ibrad makes his way past Darth Vader to go into 5th. Azure Wings, I believe, made his way past Liam-esque as well. Walter makes his way past Mr. Basil. This is unreal. I believe I just saw 4 overtakes in the span of 20 seconds or less. So the true fight right now, as BKS gets himself I believe that's another 3-second time penalty. But it looks like even if Dazibo were to pass Yo-Yo, he does have time penalties in comparison to Yo-Yo. So Yo-Yo, without any mistakes, will be finishing in P2 irregardless. As we will ride on board with the front runner, Anthony of the Porsche team. He makes his way into this mini S section, and that is going to be a victory for the Porsche driver. P1 for Anthony, as Yo-Yo comes in 2nd, Dazi in 3rd, Big Weir in 4th, Ibrad of Toyota in 5th. Whitey Core actually jumps him to go 5th, so Ibrad is 6th, Darth Vader 7th. BKS was 8th, but now Azure goes past him. Liam-esque finishes, BKS finishes 9th, Liam-esque in 10th, Mr. Basil 11th, Walter in 12th, Snooker in 13th. So we just have to wait for Lewis of Bentley, as he gets himself another 3-second time penalty. We just have to wait for him to cross the finish line, but it is Anthony of the Porsche team takes the victory in quite a entertaining race, as Dazibo number 1 fan gets himself the driver of the day, as determined by the game, and he made up a lot of positions, so he definitely does deserve that crown of driver of the day. So I will go through the finishing order for this race. It is Anthony of the Porsche team, P1, Yo-Yo of the Toyota team, P2, Dazibo of the Bentley team, P3, Big Weir of the Bentley team, P4, Wadikor of Ford, P5, Ibrad of Toyota, P6, Darth Vader of the Ford team, P7, Azure Wings of the Monster Energy team, P8. That would be Porsche. So BKS of the Porsche team, P9. Liam Esk of Monster Energy, P10. Mr. Basil of Monster Energy, P11. Walter of the Bentley team, P12. Snooker of the Monster Energy team, P13. Lewis F1 of the Bentley team, P14. Kingsholm of the Ford team, and he DNF, so that would be 15. 16th for Aeon Blades, Boosted 17th, and Flea 1996 in 18th position. That was quite a race. Quite the entertainment. A lot of overtakes, a lot of hard driving. That was a good race. So, as we finish out week 5 of the LFR calendar, this upcoming Monday, as I head to the calendar, we will be heading to, or the Monday Limitless 1 drivers will be heading to Spain for their 50% Grand Prix at the Spain circuit. So that will be on Monday at 7:30 p.m. UK time. You can tune in and the stream will be live at that time for Monday Limitless 1 racing. So as far as this broadcast goes, I would like to thank everyone who did tune in and who does tune in when you watch it as it gets posted onto YouTube, the Limitless Gaming Esports channel. If you have not subscribed as yet, make sure that you do subscribe to this channel. The races are phenomenal, always. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure that you like this video as well, and then make sure that you tune in next week for all 3 days, starting with Monday Limitless 1 racing, where the race will be taking place at the Spain, or the circuit in Spain. As for myself, Kem, it has been a pleasure doing this broadcast for you guys. For LGE coverage of Limitless Formula Racing, we would like to thank you for tuning in. Take care. We'll catch you next time.